That's right.
And give me a minute to streamline all of this, make sure I'm good to go on my recordings. Go live. Okay, this should kick over. 1 second. All right. So today we are going to talk about websites. Now we're about 3 weeks into this thing we call Command and all the different trainings that we've been doing all this time. Today we're going to dive in a little bit more about how to add some additional custom pages to your website. And Jackie has volunteered to let me utilize her website because mine's kind of maxed out right now. Some things that I can do to it. So I'll be working in the purview of Jackie Jordan today as I'm locked on and doing all the different trainings. I'm going to share some things with you. I'm going to share some videos with you of where I get some of this information. I will post some of the what's called iframe or code to embed code for some of the pages. So don't worry about it if you catch it all right now. This is recorded. I'll post it. We're in the process of building a YouTube channel so you can go back and easily watch all these things. Right now, everything's been hosted on our Facebook page. I will be monitoring the room for questions as best I can. We've got an hour to cover a lot of this material. So if you could hold your questions till I break or ask for questions or post it in the chat room, that'll keep me on track a little bit better as I'm bouncing around. Is that okay for everybody?
Yeah, but you're really scratchy. Your voice is really scratchy for some reason.
I'm trying to keep hydrated here. We are starting to experience bandwidth issues. I've been on a lot of calls over the last couple of weeks, and I've noticed that we're starting to get intermittence on some of the things. I don't know if that's Zoom or my personal house or on your end, but I have noticed a lot more of interference for the things that have been happening for transmission's sake. So I'll do the best that I can. If I fade, do feel free to speak up, but I'm trying to speak in my normal voice. I think I'm just getting a little hoarse from all the 9 Zoom sessions that I do each day. Okay, but am I being heard okay now?
It's the audio. I don't think it's your voice. It's the audio. It's very, I don't know. It's distorted.
Yeah, it's coming in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
And that has been an issue for me on other changes I've been on as well. So we'll do the best that we can today. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen so you all can see where I'm working from. Okay, let me hide this. All right, this blue bar. There you go. All right, so today we're going to be working from Jackie's screen. So what I wanted to go over was adding pages to your website. Now, the way that KW has configured these things, it's fairly easy to add some straightforward stuff without having to get overly complicated. But I think it's our nature to want to get overly complicated at times. But I encourage you to take it easy in how much content you add. Remember, your website, first and foremost, is about search for your consumer. So from your home page, I just come back home. On the left-hand side, we have the consumer, which is where your website is housed. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click on that. Now, in order to add pages to your website, you would have previously had to launch your website. And we're not going to do that in this class because we've done that previously. So we're going to make the assumption that you all are already there with that. On the upper right-hand side, you've got, you're going to come in, you're going to be on landing pages, but if you go to the right-hand side, you'll see site and app settings, and then you're going to see create a new site. I don't like the way this is worded. I wish this would say create a new page, because create a new site is slightly misleading in what it's doing, because you have a website, but when you click on create a new site, it says on my site or as a standalone, because you do have the ability to create standalone landing pages or add a page to your website. Today, we're mostly going to talk about this, but I will touch on a standalone page as well. So adding a page to your website is still the same. They're calling it create a site page. So think of it that way. So I'm going to click on my site and create page. this is your page builder. This is pretty straightforward for all of you to use. And on the right-hand side, you'll see what are called widgets, okay? At the top, you've got a name, so we should name this page. So the first thing that I want to do is show you how to build a testimonial page, because that's a two-part process. So the first thing we need to do is create a testimonial capture page. Which is a spot where your clients would put your testimonial. So right below here, you see testimonial capture. So just drag that over and you'll see it's already laid out for you in a nice, clean, organized fashion. And at the bottom, you will see content blocks and layout blocks. Now that's more advanced features that we will touch on a little bit later in this session. Right now, we're going to talk about just incorporating widgets. Now, if I wanted to have additional widgets, I could add. So I've got this page where I'm going to add a text capture. If I wanted my team information, I could put that above it or below it if I was on a team. If I wanted my profile page, I could add that or below it. And this is what that would look like, okay? Now, for this particular experience, for this page, I wouldn't necessarily do that. I just want the capture information on this page. So I'm going to delete. So there's a little trash can. When I click on that green image, I get my trash can. So I just want the capture page for this, right? So at the bottom, I have to configure widgets. And it's going to give me some contact information. Do I want a headshot? Oh, wait a minute. I don't have the agent profile there, so it should not be there. I did take that off, didn't I? I did. It's very odd. Sometimes it's a little buggy. There you go. All right, so it wants me to add my widget. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of this. I'm going to start over. Because it cookied that I had that in there, so I don't want that. So, all right, testimonial capture. Testimonial capture. Okay. Configure widget. There we go, testimonial capture. Now, I'll see the information that's on the page itself on the right-hand side. And so what I can say is, please leave a review. Okay. Now that's the team name. Now I can put anything I want in these boxes essentially, right? Just giving you some examples of what you can put in different. Just because it's branded something doesn't mean that's what has to be in there. You can change the content to anything that applies to you. But I don't like to edit this too much. I'm not big on rewriting things, but you certainly can. Save and apply. And I'll see that right here. Please leave a review is updated from the right-hand side. Now, once I'm ready to add it to the website, there's a two-step process. So I've created the page. I'm going to save my changes. Yes. Okay. Now we'll see that I have a testimonial capture page that is available to me to add to my website. So the page is built, but I still need to add it to the website. So I will go to Site and App Settings. Okay. I'll come to Site Pages. I then have to add a page to the website. And I'll see that in my drop-down list. I now have this testimonial capture. So that's the page I want to add. It's going to ask me what I want to name it. I said, please leave a review. Spelling is there. And for the slug, right, because each page has a slug because it's a subpage. And I'm just going to call this reviews. Okay, testimonial, or you have to leave SEO, so you might just put your name in here. save changes. And we'll also see that that's now available on my website. Now, I'm just going to show you what it looks like because it's how quickly it pops up. If I click to the top here and go to agent site pages, and I go to Jackie's website, right underneath that now, I'm going to see please leave a review. And if I wanted to leave a review, you see that the address starts to auto-populate. Okay, so now I've submitted a review to Jackie's website, but it's not showing up on her website, right? Because this was just a leave a review page. So what has to happen is I have to build the listings or the carousel of where those reviews would be displayed. So you go back and you create another page on your website. So we'll go create a new site on my site, create a page. Now this will be testimonial display. Okay. So here you've got two options. You've got a carousel or you've got a list. That's just your personal experience. You want to see them in list view or do you want them cycling across the page? I'm just going to go ahead with a list view. Okay. And then when I click on configure widgets, I go to testimonial list. Okay. Now I see that there's a testimonial here that I could add to that display. If I had more, then I could browse through and check on the ones that I want to have displayed on my website. Now, the one thing to this is that every time you get a new review, you're going to have to refresh this page and check to add the additional reviews. They won't automatically populate at this particular time. Okay? I can choose which details that I want to see from my client. I can say, hey, maybe this is our raving fans. And then you could add information about you, how long have you been in the business, whatever you want to say, just a little brief description of how much you appreciate everything that your clients have said to you. Now, Jackie, be careful. We can edit anything I add. So if you're not liking the verbiage that I'm using, we can certainly edit any of this later. Save, reply, save changes. Yes, I want that to display. So now, what I have to do, I have to add this, right, to her site. So I have to go to configure site. Oh, sorry. I've got to go to site and app settings, site pages, and now I have to add that page. And now I'm going to see that testimonial display is now an option. I can add that. And this might be called our raving fans. Let's call it testimonials. Oh. Now, interesting enough, I used to be able to put dashes in here, and now it doesn't like, and yeah, it doesn't like dashes anymore. So it has to be all one word. You should be able to separate those out. Add pages, save page, go back to agent site pages. Now I already have her page up here, so I can just click, at this point, I can click refresh. So now under her pages, I'll see, please leave a review and her raving fans. All right, so I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm going to go in, I see a couple questions popping up. I haven't tried underscore or dashes. This just popped up yesterday and I notified that, so we can try that on the next round. So I'm going to pause here for a quick second and see, do we have any questions? It does seem my audio is running askew. I'm getting that on the Zoom side.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
I think he's muted. You're muted, David.
No, I'm not.
Now you are.
Yeah, you are.
You're muted.
You see the little red icon on your face? You're muted.
There,
There you
you're not
go.
muted anymore.
Now you're unmuted.
On my dashboard, it wasn't showing muted. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can we add past reviews? I've got tons and tons of reviews that are on Zillow and all other places. Can we go in and add those reviews? And if so, how do we do that?
You would essentially have to add them like I just did and basically post as your client or ask your clients to go back and post them.
Okay. Sounds
So when-
good.
On the review page, it just did ask for like an email address. So I was having this conversation. If you go to please leave a review and you build them out, you would just basically be acting as your client.
Okay. That's great.
There's
Thanks.
no way to feed or pull in, and I don't anticipate us adding a connector to Zillow.
Yeah. Okay. All right, good. Thanks.
Absolutely. Any other questions on the testimonial build? Pretty straightforward, right? Okay. So now let's go back out. I'm going to just go minimize.
David, I have a quick question.
Absolutely.
Do the reviews that agents have building on their websites ultimately relate to Google and Google reviews because of the connection with Google and because Google's crawling sites?
I
Like,
don't
Is
see
there any
them.
connection?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I was just asking if there's any connection between
Right now-
those.
Yeah, these are not populating across anywhere else except to your website.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you were collecting Google reviews, then they would have to, basically reviews on any third-party platform have to be entered on those platforms.
Right. I just didn't know if like the web crawlers, like when someone's doing a Google search, like if web crawlers recognize review pages.
Well, that would be coming. If people were to search for Jackie Jordan review or testimonials, that would be based mostly on the strength of her SEO that she added to this unique page.
All right, fair point. Cool. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Hey,
All
quick
right.
question.
Well, go ahead.
When I go to configure site, I'm directed to a page that says a little pop-up that says before you begin, and it takes me to the initial building wizard as if I've never set up my site. Is that usual, or am I doing something wrong?
That happens to me too.
Have you set up your site previously?
Oh yeah, I have pages and stuff on it, but every time I go in, it asks me if I'm using the command site or if I'm using a different site. That there's 3 check boxes that you could do.
Are you sure you're
Yes.
clicking? I have to be clear here. Are you sure you're clicking on create a new site versus configure your site?
Yes. For me, anyway.
Okay. Well, right now, without actually seeing it, I couldn't troubleshoot for you.
That's fine.
Sorry, I hadn't seen that, but I'm not saying that's not happening.
Okay, I'll try and maybe do a video and post it on the Facebook page of what's
You
happening.
also talk to your Market Center tech trainer, if you know who that is in your Market Center.
Yeah.
We go
Okay.
both ways.
Okay, Wendy, there you go.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, oh no, I don't know this one.
We'll certainly work together to figure it out.
All right.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about adding another page. So I'm just going to show you my website, show you a couple of things that I have on my website. So if I come back to my home page, under my drop down, so I've got my About Me, I've got my mobile app page, which is straightforward. I'll show you guys how to add that. We have the post a testimonial, which we just did in our raving fans, right? I have a default blog post that's populating from other, I'm getting this from Homekeeper right now because there's no straight ahead easy way to add blog posts on your websites right now. And I'm not a big blog post person, so this works out great that I just have fresh content being boosted across to my website. There is, I added as This Month in Real Estate, which KW provides to us. So I kind of went ahead and added that. So this is just a couple things that I wanted to show you. There's also, you can use greatschools.org. Oh, I just closed that. No, oh no, there it is. Greatschools.org has an option to add a widget. And I lost where I was on my page. Bananas. No matter sometimes how set up you can be. All right. I think I saved that. There you go. So I copied the link, and I'll get the video where to find that, but I didn't want to backtrack all of that. That should work. Now, I haven't added this page, so trial and error sometimes. So we're going to add a page to the website, create a new site on my website, create a page. Now, when building pages where I'm going to use embed code, okay, it is best, and I've only really seen it work this way, if you use a widget first versus just going to add content blocks and text. If I just build a straight stream with adding text and code and adding embed code, because that's that iframe text that I just copied, I've seen there to have issues. So I like to utilize, at this point, I'll grab either my agent profile page, which is what you saw for this. This is my agent profile page that I changed out to work with This Month in Real Estate, okay? Or you can use the company profile page in the same capacity. So how you would do that is add the widget like I just showed you, and let's call this This Month in Real Estate, okay? Configure widgets, bottom. Now what you need to do is you need to delete the information that's in here. So you could go ahead and say This Month in Real Estate. Now I would want to delete this intro text because I don't want anything in there right now. Okay, I'm going to leave this banner image, or I could upload a different image altogether. I'm going to delete section 1 heading and section 1 text. Now you'll see, oh shoot, it says that section 1 text is required. If I hit a space bar, nothing will show up, but it meets that requirements. Delete section 2 image. So that's just a little cheat. If you're ever looking for, try to utilize a space where it says something is required, you can just hit the space bar once and that will be recognized. Delete, so I'm just deleting all this content that's defaulted on this page. Okay, then I'm gonna go over here to my little, where I saved some of this information from me, grab the This Month in Real Estate iframe code. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that into the intro text. Hit save and apply. I don't know where my page went. It's interesting that it disappeared. Well, let's add it and see if I messed something up or if I need to redo it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to Site and App Settings, Site Pages, add a page. Now I'll see this month in real estate is here. Continue. Site page. It's interesting that it shows that dashes work here, but when I try them, an underscore seems to work. Oh, no, it didn't. Question that, see what's going on there. Spelling, sorry, Jack. Save page. Okay. Back, just go up here and refresh. Okay, so something happened when I created that page. I'll go back and fix that, but for the sake of the class, I won't. But you guys see that on my website. That's how it's showing up here. So somewhere I deleted, looks like I deleted the layout of the page. So best case scenarios, don't be in a rush when you're doing these things to help you prevent making mistakes. All right, so I have a couple of questions here in the chat room. All right. Homekeeper, yes, I'll get the Homekeeper. I can show you that. Will I configure when I go to configure? Okay, we covered that. Perfect. Okay, good question. Yeah, so with the this month in real estate, it used to update on its own. I think you now have to grab a new site. And what I did was, if I go to, here we go. I did a YouTube search for this month in real estate. And when you go to the page here, you can come down to the share button. Click and grab this embed code. And this is where it's housed. Now in here, it doesn't say March anywhere in here. So what I'm going to do in April is I'm going to go back and take a look and see if it updated or I have to go grab a new code. Historically it had, but then I remember when I had it on my website, it had stopped at some point. So you might need to refresh the code every now and then. That's a best practice. Oh, and I answered Julie's question of where I got this code. So there you go. If you have Scott Leroy, they can add if you request. Yeah, so Scott Leroy is an option. They are doing, I don't know how backed up they are on some of this stuff. I do recommend that this is a skill that you guys develop because there may be a need or a time for you guys to build that in advance, but you can certainly have other companies do that for you because I know there's some options out there for you to do that. Okay. Homekeeper, there was a question on the Homekeeper app. So first we pause here. Was there a question on the this month in real estate outside of me somewhere fumbling up on the page layout there? But again, you're seeing how to utilize the widget, how to embed the code, how to clear that out. Let's go ahead and grab a Homekeeper one. We can do the same thing. So if I go to Homekeeper, log in, you're going to come in on this dashboard. Over here in Homekeeper, there's my widgets. So I grab embed widget, and the first thing you're going to see, if you have Homekeeper Pro, you will have a list of your vendors. I don't have Homekeeper Pro, so I just have the blog widget. So I grab the iframe one. Okay, I'm going to copy. Back to Jackie's website, create a site. On my site. Now this one I'll use the agent profile one. Okay. Configure widget. Click on agent profile. And I'll say, just call it Jackie's blog. Okay. I'll take out about Jackie and hit space. I'm going to take out the bio for Jackie. And that's where I'm going to post the embed code. And I'll leave her contact information at the bottom. Save and apply. Boom. See how quickly that dropped right in? Nice and neat. Change the name. Save. Yes. See, that's there, right? Now we go to site and settings. Site pages. If you guys getting the routine down now, yes. Add a page. Blog post. Blog. And blog. All right. Save page. Website. Refresh. And there it is, blog post. And you see you can scroll right down. All right, I've got a couple more questions in the chat room. Let's see what people have to say. Featured listing pages, good question. At this time, and this should change soon, we do not have the ability to build out featured listings on our website. But I do expect us to have the ability to have that soon. And by soon, I think sometime before the end of the month, we'll have a landing page or a listings page that we can add as featured listings on our website. Okay, scroll down here. So your web address will be something simple. You could put on business cards like kw.com your name. Now, so when you build your website or when you go through the website building class, which we did in the beginning, you'll see that you create, it's typically going to be yourname.kw.com, and that's your KW subdomain. But you could still purchase a vanity domain like I have, daviddonaldson.net, and forward to my KW page. Right now, only a forward works. There's no way to index behind it. But if you have a vanity domain, you can forward that from your GoDaddy or whatever your host is at and forward that to your KW page. We do have that addressed in a previous class, but I could certainly, or have myself or somebody work you out with that. All right, so that's kind of building through and utilizing the widgets. You see that there's a couple of options for you. What I do recommend is that you guys go in there and play around, create a couple of different things, get comfortable with it, seeing how they're laid out, right? Oh, I spelled block wrong. Understanding that the text boxes that are there, you're not locked in a box with utilizing exactly with what they say. You see how we added some embed code instead of typed words, right? It's a workaround. And it's nice to not have to have been a coder to add certain things like that into your website. And, you know, trial and error. Don't get frustrated. You can get help. You can reach back to the videos. You have people inside your market centers. Your market center tech trainers are there for you. And, you know, you'll get it. So it's easier to keep things simple than to overcomplicate things. And the platform, for those of you that have marketing people or designers, you could start to get more out of these websites by custom building the pages from scratch, which isn't something I talk to too much beyond what we did from a layout standpoint because that can get a little challenging for most people. So I don't address that too much. But if I had, where am I at here? Okay. So if I wanted to add a page, and say I wanted to add a report that I got. So I could create a new site page on my website. And what I want to do here is kind of show you an example of like, I wanted to add something. So I have this content block. I don't know if this is working. It wasn't quite working the other day. Now, if I wanted to add an image that I created that was a JPEG, I can go get something from my computer. So I click here to load. It's going to go grab something from my computer. I'm just going to grab this. I have some agents that use Buffini, so I grabbed one of their cap items. Click add. And now you see that that loaded on the page. I just made it a little bit bigger to fit. And it might be something that I want to add as a featured item, how to travel like a pro. On my website. And then the one thing that's missing is that I don't have a widget. So I'd have to, at the bottom of this, I would go ahead and add maybe like a contact form at the bottom of my page. Now I've got a widget on that page of contact information at the bottom. I've got my display information at the top. And I would go through the configure process that we just talked about. So I'm not going to add this particular one, but you kind of get see the ability there to change some things. Layout blocks, I could change, put them in things in a third of a section, half a section, basically splitting pages. If you want to go in this direction, I encourage you to do so. That's a more advanced thing, so you can start to play around with and change them with those layouts on the pages. You've got a couple tools at the top here, which I don't utilize too much. This is your grids, list, paintbrush, and settings. You can undo, all right, steps right here. It's kind of like your backspace. If I did something I didn't want to undo it, so I can update that. I'm not going to save this page. I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here. Okay. I do want to bring this to your attention that there is a challenge in the system right now. If I go back to site pages, and you won't see it on Jackie's yet because I haven't reached the max. But as it stands right now, you can build all the pages I just showed you. Okay. I click add a page. But once this list, let's see where we're at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Once this list hits 10 of pages built inside of Command, okay, once I get to the 11th or the 12th page that I've built, I won't see it on this list as the ability to add it to my website. It's just a glitch. It's known, it's reported, it's kind of being built out. And it has to do with a refresh of this load page right here that there's some challenges with. So once you max out on 10 pages built, you can continue to build pages. You just won't at this time have the ability to add any more to your website. So it's just something I wanted to point out that they're aware of and that they are working on. Okay. Let's talk about adding a landing page, right? Some of you utilize open houses. Oh, let me check the chat room real quick. Kind of pages, yeah, I'm going to touch on editing, and we keep adding current. Can we add keeping current matters? In any of the formats that I just showed you, there's ways to add things. So if keeping current matters has an embed code, you can add it just like I showed you with any of the other widgets. The this month in real estate, you know, most sites, if they're statistically based, you can either do a screen grab, right? That's what I did with that cap item. Or you can use like a snippet tool, which is what I did here. Actually, you know what I did? I did this, I did a fast fax page off of Bright. And if you guys knew this was here, there's a fast fax in Bright. So I clicked on here and I went to Loudon County. And I had the generations reports by quarter. And I just scrolled through here. And I did a screen grab, which I just used the snipping tool on my computer. Copy and paste this, turn this into an image, and then I'll load that. But I can't load it right now because my page is maxed out. But that's something that you could do. And then I imagine you could do the same with keeping current matters. I'm talking the best I can. I think it's a bandwidth issue. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so the question was, how do I edit and how do I add a landing page? So I'm going to go back and do those two things right now. First, I'm going to show you is adding a landing page. So landing pages are standalone website pages that are not hosted on your website like everything else that we just did. So here you would go to create a site. And instead of on my site, I'm going to do as a standalone, create page. Now, maybe I'll do an open house. Okay. On the right-hand side, I can go ahead. Now you're going to see some different options here. I'm going to go ahead and grab my branded header. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab a listing because I want to put the listing for my open house. And then at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and drag in a lead form. So essentially, look at that. So the lead form came in and went to the top. I actually want the lead form at the bottom. So I can actually click on it or click on the one below and hit this little up arrow and move it. That didn't work the way that I wanted it to. Let's try again. Let's hit the undo. All right. As I said, at times we have challenges, not a big deal. I'm going to trash this. I don't know what's going on with that image. I'm not getting my trash can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to say no. I'm going to start from scratch. Create a new site. Standalone. Create page. Let's try that again. Header. Listing. Let's go to the bottom of that. And then I'm going to put lead form all the way down here. All right. Then I'm going to click configure widgets. And you have to walk through these three pages, right? So first is going to be Jackie, and I'll say open house registration. It knows that I've done that before. So that'll come in across the top. Contact information, her team logo, save and apply. Then I go to the next branded header. Now I got to browse for listing. Now I'm going to go check. Does anybody have an active listing right now for an address that I can grab? If somebody throws in an address into chat, I'll go ahead and utilize that. All right, perfect. Thank you, Jackie. If it's under contract, it may not show up. I'll try it. All right, there it is. So I went ahead, I typed in, I hit search, I selected it. Given my website is working very slow. Okay. Then it's going to ask me to choose an image. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab one. The front one's usually the best one, right? But if you know of something else for your property you want to use, you'll see you've got all of your listing photos pulled right over into here. So go ahead and do that. I'll leave save and apply. And you'll see that this updates, okay, with that photo. Now I'm going to go to the third widget. And I'm going to say, get more info on this home and others like it. Something like that. Save and apply. Now I could just save the landing page at this point, or I could go ahead and publish it. I'm gonna go ahead and publish it. And say, yes, I do want to make that viewable. And remember, this is not going to show up on your website, right? Because it's a standalone landing page. And my website is at, my bandwidth in my house here is a crawl. So if my kids are chewing everything up, or it's just the experience that I've been having lately. So under landing pages, you now have this URL. And if I were to click on this URL, what's going to show up is the landing page. So if I was posted up at an open house, I could have this on my computer for people to come in and register. Now, maybe you want to move, and it's something I might do, is maybe actually I might move the registration lead form to the top of the page instead of just the property, because I got to scroll down. So I might switch the order of this a little bit, just something for you to consider. And then they can go ahead, they can register into the and then a little note. Not a robot. So now you've captured their information and they'll come into command for you. Now there's a couple things, right? This is good for them. If you have it, you can use it on a tablet, you can use it on your desktop, maybe you're walking around with them. And either you could have them enter the information or you'll be talking to them and entering the information on their behalf. If they register at the door, I like to follow them around as I talk to them. I continue to take notes on a piece of paper, or I rush to take notes after I'm done talking with them, so that at least I know I have captured their information, it's going into command, and then I can go back into command later and update their contact record with the notes that I took from them from their open house. Maybe I got where they lived, maybe I got their price, maybe different things. But this is a quick capture way to build a landing page that's accessible to you when you're doing open houses. It's nice, neat, and professional, right? And you could also use this landing page if I was going to do a Facebook ad. I could have people register right from the Facebook ad. It's a lot of different things that you could use landing pages for. So I just wanted to show you guys how to utilize that. All right, let's go into the chat room here. Okay, is there a way to customize the back end of the single site URL? Not right now. Other than if I sorry, let me backtrack. Not within command. And the only thing you could do is purchase a domain like through GoDaddy, 123 Main Street, and forward it to that page and utilize that in your marketing. Depends on how quickly properties are moving right now. If you want to, again, domains are cheap. You can buy them for 10 bucks. It might be, there are companies and teams that buy a domain name for every one of their listings. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe a good practice. And forward that. But I cannot customize this any more than what you see right here inside of command. So yes, Marshall, thank you for commenting. You could certainly do that and do a forward through GoDaddy. Your site has you listed on a Royals team member. That's just the placeholder in your settings. And when you update it with your marketing profile information, that will publish across with your updated information. All right. All right, answered that. Got it, got it, got it. Perfect. All righty then. So we covered adding a whole lot of different things. The other thing I didn't show you was adding your the widget for your mobile app. But I think you guys see now that you can just go in and drag that and add that down. I showed you guys how to create a landing page. We talked about embed codes and grabbing them from different sites. So I'll try to create a list of the different embed codes and share them with you. Some of them do have to be customized. When I did play with the Great Schools one, which I lost my link, I had to go in and pick the area of the schools that I wanted. So if you go to greatschools.org, I'll create a Loom video for that and kick that back out so where you guys can find that. If there was a list of additional pages that you were interested in to add content from, put them on the Facebook group, and I'll create a list of embed codes for you guys to grab for that. So you go ahead and maybe somebody creates or I'll create a chat around what would you like to see after we post this video. And then below that, I'll go ahead and grab some additional embed codes for you guys to have. My voice is getting a little harsh here, so sorry. All right, from there, let's open it up to questions.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I created some some pages on my website, and I tried to go in and edit them, and the little the little eyeball thing,
Yes.
it only lets me delete them. It doesn't let me edit them.
Thank
So
you
is
for
that a
asking.
glitch?
No, it's not a glitch. Thanks for asking. They moved them. And actually, I meant to address this, so thank you.
Uh-huh.
You're right. So from the agent site pages, you'll see from that list, I can see them to preview and I can delete. They moved the pages to designs. So once they've been built, they're all now housed inside of designs. And that's why it's important to name each page. You see across the top here, I've got my agent site pages,
Oh.
and they're all in here.
Oh, so that's where you can edit them?
This is where you edit them.
Oh, that would have been nice to know.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure when they moved them. It's been a little bit. It's been a couple of weeks. But this is where they're now housed. So now you can edit them directly in here.
Okay, well, that's
Thank you
really
for
good.
asking. That was important information I did want to get across to you guys.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely.
This whole hour was worth it just to know that.
Hey, if you take away one thing from a training, then I feel like I've accomplished something.
Yeah, definitely. That one, definitely.
And you know, it's funny you say, because I will watch trainings by other instructors on topics just like this, that I feel confident in what I'm doing, but I will watch them to get other bits of information, see how they present things and what they accentuate, which might be different than how I deliver things. And I learn, and if I can get one takeaway, then it was worth it to watch somebody else train on a topic that I feel pretty versed in. So I agree with that.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Absolutely. The Travel Like a Pro, that was a cap item that I just scanned in. It was a Buffini piece. So I scanned it in and just turned it into a JPEG. And I loaded that as an image on the page. If you scroll back, you'll see that I did do a quick build on that. We've got about 7 minutes. Is there any other questions from anybody? Did I cover everything? Did you get enough information out of this? I hope you're getting good information out of this entire series.
Can I add something?
Mm-hmm.
So the pages that we have, the banners, everybody has the same banner. So I just went into Canva and created a lot of different banners to put on those pages so that they don't look like everybody else's.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's a good best practice to kind of, and Canva has tons and tons and tons of stock images you can use. So I found some really cute ones to put on my schools, greatschools.org. And, you know, there's a lot of, the only thing you have to be mindful of is the pixels that they want you to use. So the big banners are 2000 wide by 500 high.
Yep.
So, and most of the time you'll see when you're doing your widgets, it might tell you what the standard, like it says recommended size 1200 by 1200 pixels for your site hero image. So, so yeah, anyway, I just wanted to throw that in.
No, that's great information for sharing. And that's what I did was I went to the consumer site and I went to site and app settings, site pages. And what you will actually see them is your hero images right here. And you're 100% right. Those should all be changed because everybody got the same ones. And you can go to different platforms, and I use Pexels. You can search for royalty-free images. Actually, inside of designs, there are images inside of designs that KW provides stock photos in there that you can download and use. You can use your own personal listing photos, which I do highly encourage because then nobody else has what you have. If I go to Pexels, then, you know, there are other people that could use some of the similar images that I grab. And you can do them here for your home page. And for if you use like one of the pages where I built and I used the company profile or the different banner images, You can upload different banner images. I saw an agent today that took one of these banner images and just added context over top. If I can remember his website, John. He added, I'll show you his homepage images. He basically just took an image, here you go, and he added an overlay with another picture. So he did a picture on top of a picture, so he changed the banner across the top. So you can certainly get more enhanced and more customize your pages the more comfortable you get with things. So good feedback on updating the images all across your platform. Highly encouraged. All right, go to chat room here.
Hey, can you show me that last one you just did? If you still have that, so I can see it.
The last what?
The last image you just showed with the banner across in front of the search. I just wanted to look.
The guy's website. So if you go to johnz.kw.com.
Oh yeah. Okay. So he basically, okay. I'm just.
Yeah, he just took an image and
Yep.
overlaid another image on his desktop.
Yep.
And just and branded the image and then uploaded it as his backdrop.
Yeah, and I like that. I at least concept. I'm not sure I'm in love with that one specific one, but at least it shows a lot more
I just
information.
pulled it as an example. And so what we're starting to see, right? Because there's no one size fit all answer for a lot of these things. Agents get creative, and Canva's a great platform. I'll be honest though, I just saved myself the $12.95 a month I was paying them as I'm being accountable to my finances, and I'm building everything in Designs. So you can go in and utilize Designs just like Canva and create all kinds of stuff. It doesn't have 100% everything that Canva has, doesn't have some of the texture backgrounds and things like that, but you could actually do quite a bit in Designs. So that was just me being accountable to myself that I let that go. But that is it. I do highly like Canva for building social media cards and updating images and creating custom things. Couple minutes left here. Who has any other questions of things I haven't addressed?
Hey, David, I have a question about the About Me page. For some reason, once I've uploaded like a new headshot, I can't get it to refresh the pictures and the information on that page. I'm not sure where to go to actually get that done.
So inside of Designs is where you edit all your pages. And actually you could even go, so if it's an About Me or About Us, you could actually go through the configure site, and this would probably be the best spot. Go through your configure site. And you could, because you can step through this at any time to update information. And the configure site's going to have your three main pages, the About Me, the Contact Us, and my company profile page. Now this information all pulls from your marketing page. So you can either update it on your marketing page, or you can go through here and walk through and update your profile information in here.
Yeah, I actually updated it in my marketing page, and I went through that this morning, but for whatever reason, it just has the default KW logo where my headshot should be.
Yeah. Hey, Lawrence, I have the same issue. And when I talked to Scott Leroy Marketing, they said that had to do with something with a kind of, there's you and I somehow are in this hybrid universe where we have a combination of old technology and new technology, where it's pulling that image from I think eEdge or something like that, and actually and we might have to delete and recreate that. I mean, David, you might know better.
I don't know of anything that's connected to eEdge in here, so I'd be careful about that. But I've had to edit some things recently where my website wasn't working, so I had to go through the site builder all over again. And just once I did a refresh, everything repopulated across. So I would start with your marketing profile page, and then I would go through the website builder. If that still doesn't work, send me an email and we can take a look at some things.
Yeah, I mean, I'll send you an email, and Lawrence, you do the same, because it's it's kind of weird.
Okay.
Thank you both.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you can always contact me at daviddonaldson@kw.com is my email address. I do. Sorry, I don't know if that was a question for me, but what I do ask that if you have, you can post things on the Facebook page is the best way because I respond to things in there. I'll post videos and things like that. If you've got questions directly about support and how to, I do ask that you contact your in-house marketing center tech trainer or tech ambassador or leadership first, just because I have 4,000 people in the region and I don't want you to get lost in the shuffle that I'm not responding to you. If you have something of an urgent need, you can certainly email me at daviddonaldson@kw.com. And if you don't know who your market center tech trainer is or tech ambassador, feel free to ask your team leader and they can certainly point you in the right direction because every market center at this point that I'm aware of does have somebody. All right, it's 11 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and end today. Tomorrow, we're going to dive back into utilizing listing and buyer consultations. We're bringing Kaya Holleran back. Holler's always a wealth of information. And I'm going to work on a way to show you how you can host those buyer and listing presentations on your website. So I'm going to work on sharing that with you all tomorrow as part of that class. So I hope you come back. This is recorded. I'm sorry about the scratchiness in my voice and the interference of the bandwidth, but I will get this posted on the not the YouTube channel, the Facebook page. And hopefully by next week, I'll have the YouTube channel of all the recordings up and running. So once again, have a great day, everybody. Be safe, stay informed.